Welcome! This is the fourth episode of my knitting podcast from Sunny Sea Knits. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new, I hope you like the content. And well, it's the fourth episode, so you still have 3 left to watch. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been knitting not as much as usual. I've been sewing also a lot, so that's also what I'm wearing. This is the Hanna dress from La Maison Victor, and yeah, I actually like that combination a lot, and I see also other podcasts who do it as well, that they also combine the sewing with the knitting. And actually I think that's like the perfect combination, because sometimes you just need to sew some garments, and sometimes you just need to knit some garments. So I have something to talk about. I'm not a very fast knitter, I noticed, so that's why there's sometimes a longer time in between. I just don't have that much time also to knit, and so please forgive me for taking a longer time in between the episodes. But it gives me a more relaxed feeling, not to feel the rush and to need to make or to finish things to record an episode. So let me introduce myself. I'm Marleen, and currently working as a doctor 2.5 days a week, and happy to spend also a lot of time with my children. I live near the beach in Holland, like 5 minutes walk. So we're also a lot on the beach, and really enjoying that. We don't have a garden. Well, we have a community garden, so that's also very nice. But we have a balcony, but go as much as we can to the beach, and that's really our garden actually. And so in the summertime there's also a lot of sand around the house, but that's really I enjoy it because it reminds me that it's summer again. Yeah, that's about it. So just let's get started with talking about what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing, this is the Kimi kimono from Trust the Mojo. You can find it on Ravelry, and I used the pima cotton from weareknitters, and it's the color natural, actually the same as I used for the Leaftop, but I will talk about it later. I made the size L XL, and I used like 5 skeins and knitted on a 5mm needle. And I actually, it's in different panels, so but I knitted it in one piece because I really like to knit things in one piece. And I made it a little bit longer, so I repeated 9 times the pattern before starting the armholes, and then this was supposed to be 4 times repeat, but I did 5 times, and then I did a Kitchener stitch to close the top of the the front and the back panel, because you have to do it because of the armholes. And for the neckline, I don't know if you can see it, I did an I-cord bind off. And so that's it actually. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notebook, so for all the notes. And I really like it, but I actually had the same problem as I had with the Leaftop with this one. After washing, I noticed discoloration. So, and it's really, the top part has a different color than the down part, but that's really weird because I used 5 skeins of this. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see it. So first I thought it was because I just used the detergent of what's the name again? of the wool detergent. Candelan? No, I will put it down under. But then again, I saw it again with the Leaftop, and then somebody on Instagram notified me that other people have the same problem with the same cotton. So I think it's just something to do with the colors or something, or the cotton that has a tendency to get a little bit yellow instead of white. Yeah. First I thought, of course, because you're making a garment and you're spending so much time to get it nice and well, and ripping it off when you made a mistake and all those things, and then you wash it and then it has a different color, like the up part than the down part. But now I just thought, yeah, if I would have bought it in a store and I would have washed it, I would just also feel sad, but not, I would still wear it. And I'm not going to dye it in another color, because I really love the natural color. And I'm just going to stick by it. I will just stand up for a little while so you can see the length. And oh, it's so beautiful. And the Hanna dress, of course. So let's start what I finished. I finished 3 objects. Oh, I noticed that the third one is a little bit away, so I have to get up later on. I finished the Legwarmers for my sister. Of course, it's a weird season to finish Legwarmers, but she really wanted them, and I promised her last fall already. So I thought, just let's finish them up now, and when it's starting to get fall again, she can wear them. So these. I used Tukuwool and I knitted it on a 3.5 millimeter. I cast it on 52 stitches and just did a 3x1 rip. And let me check. The Tukuwool is like 100 grams for 250 meters. So per Legwarmer I used 125 meters. And I divided it the skein already in 50 grams. So I didn't need to worry about anything. I really like that, not to have to think much during knitting. The only thing that I noticed actually, because I knit on a small interchangeable needle, I don't know what's the name again, but the inch, I mean, yeah, the smallest one. And I knit continental, but I noticed that maybe I can show you that every time when maybe this is visible. So every time when I knitted 3 and then went to the purl stitch, the knitted stitch got a little bit wider, and I really didn't like it. So then I tried to do the Russian purl instead of the normal purl. So you need to eventually do a twisted purl actually, and it's actually also much quicker to purl, but that helped me a little bit. But I was actually hoping to ask you if you have had the same problem ever with continental knitting, and if you have any tips which I can use for the next time, because I noticed with continental knitting that I have it often if I do like a 2x2 rip or any rip. So I hope to get some advices from you. My sister, she walks a lot, she likes to hike, and she often has like cold ankles in the winter time. And I told her about my Legwarmers, and so I hope that And I told her that I always have like warm feet in the winter because I use a lot of Legwarmers, and especially made of wool because then it's much warmer. And so I hope she will have warm feet this winter. So that's about that one. I will show you the Leaftop. Oh, it's so gorgeous. But you again see the discoloration. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's nothing to worry about. I try to put it in the sunlight to get it one color again. Doesn't help. My sister actually told me that I could use like Biotex to bathe it in and then put it in the sun, but I just yeah, I'm a little bit afraid to do that. But anyhow, this is the Leaftop, and I forgot from who it was. Oh, the theknitstitch. I used 2 skeins of the Pima cotton of weareknitters, the natural color. It's knitted on a 5mm needle, and I knitted it again in one panel. Of course, it's a little bit different than usual. So for the front panel and the back panel, I took 2 stitches off, because otherwise you would have a double strand of this pattern. And when I got to the top part, to the triangles, I put them again in the stitch count, and then just knitted it up. For the top part, you just use the Kitchener stitch to get one nice band. Yeah, what's to say? Oh yeah, I made it a little bit longer. So this is the SM size, and normally I'm actually an L, but I'm actually thinking about maybe I should better knit an M, because most of the times the garments are way too big. But for like garments that I buy in a shop that are sewn, I really always have large. So it's always difficult for me. If I knit things, then they tend to be larger or something. Maybe my gauge is off, but I always count my gauge and it's always fine. But I don't know what's happening. So now I just thought, let's knit an M in the future. And I made it a little bit longer, so I did the repetition of 4 times. And the buttons are actually from the Wool House in, I don't know again where it is. I will put it on. But I really think, of course, the discoloration is not that nice, but I can really recommend this. It's so nice and so beautiful. You feel really, instantly you feel feminine wearing this. Yeah, so that's that. Oh yeah, the third one, but I need to get up. I'm sorry. So this is the April cardigan. Da, 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 da. And it's finished, but I made a mistake as well again. So I actually had a lot to talk about, but I think I put it in my phone, and that's not so handy because well, when you're recording with your phone, you cannot watch your notes. So if there are any notes that I forgot to tell you about the April cardigan, I will put it in the show notes underneath. And I will get my page of my book. So it's knitted on a 4mm needle, and actually I would just put it on. I used Illimani Santi. It's like merino, baby alpaca, yak and mulberry silk. It's 125 meters for 50 grams DK. I thought it was a little bit, how you say, a smaller yarn than DK. So I think then it's more sport weight or something. What I did is, it's a saddleback shoulder. I actually really like the saddleback shoulder. Somebody else noticed me that, or told me that it's a saddleback shoulder, because otherwise I wouldn't know the name. But she asked me if I could give my opinion about it. And actually I really like it, because the raglan is normally my kind of fit, but I actually like the drop shoulder part. And if you can see, here starts the raglan. So actually it has a little bit of combination of a real raglan and a dropped shoulder fit. And I actually really like that you can see this pattern of the saddleback shoulder. And it's really easy to knit actually. I just made some mistakes, just not by paying attention. And the pattern is by Petite. And what I did actually was first made the sleeves, and then I thought that the sleeves were a little bit too short, so I needed to make them longer. But when I blocked it, then they were too long, and I don't like too long sleeves, nobody does. So I just ripped them out again and made this the same length as I did before. So I knitted the sleeves 3 times, but it wasn't really necessary. About the Illimani Santi, it's very, very, very soft wool, but as you can see, I haven't worn it that much, but it already peels. So I just feel really bad about it, because it's very, how you say, fair trade wool. So the people who work on the wool really get the money they earn, which I think it's very fair and very nice. Yeah, so it peels. So you really need to have a device to depeel. I haven't done it, of course, because I just wanted to let you see how much it peels. So then I divided or knitted the body, and I was just in a row, how you say, on a roll, and I was knitting. Yeah, it was very nice because the wool is very nice, and I just didn't pay that much attention. And then I noticed that actually I was just stand up the rib on the bottom edge needed to be longer, so I just actually needed to start it over here and to get it a little bit wide like this. But yeah, I thought I'm just going to accept that it's like that, and I'm not going to rip it off again. I'm very happy that it's finished. I still need to find some buttons. I actually wanted to use the buttons I bought from the Leaftop, but then it will be more like this. And again, I made a, which size? I made I didn't write it down. I think I made the size L. But again, I think I would also could handle the size M. So maybe when I make it again, I will make a size M. I still don't know if it's the gauge or that I just have a different perception of how big I am. But that's that. It's a little bit warm, so I'm just going to get it off and put the Kimi kimono again on. And then that were my finished objects, and we're just heading over to the whips. The whips. So what I'm knitting on now is the Cumulus tee. I noticed that other people are knitting it as well. It's also from the Petite knit. Or Petite knit, it's not D, but Petite knit. And I'm using Albertine wool. It's French, from the rerum natura. It's knitted on 3.0 millimeters. And it's 200 meters for 50 grams. It's this one. And I have the color white cream, which I really like. So it's still a whip. You don't really can see anything. I also use small circumferences because I really like that. But I really adore this. It's so nice. It's taking me a long while. Of course, I use stitch markers again to notify where I am. And I'm just going to... I'm sorry, I'm closing the window. It's a little bit too noisy. So I'm just accepting that it's going to take a longer time. It's sometimes I'm really like a project knitter, so I love the process or process knitter, and sometimes I'm really more like, yeah, then it's project knitter, right? So sometimes I really like when it's finished and I can just wear it, anything, and just for me actually it's very good to have something that takes a longer time and that gives me more time to rethink things and just to really be more aware of what I'm knitting and to enjoy the knitting. Yeah, and I really like this Albertine. It's wool with silk, so it has a really soft touch. And I'm actually knitting it in wool and silk because I also want to have it, to wear it of course in the summertime because I'm making short sleeves. But I also really like it to put it under, need a cardigan or a sweater in the winter time. Then I have the Novice cardigan, also by Petite Knit. I'm inspired by Petite Knit lately. And it's a chunky edition, and actually it's knitted up quite quickly. But I'm just taking my time because I knitted it before for a friend of mine, and actually that was a size XS, and I'm knitting the size M. But again, it's a little bit large. So when I put it on, you can see it already. The sleeve openings, armholes are too wide. So and yesterday my husband, he said, yeah, I like it actually. Actually, can you not leave it like this? Then you're like a Star Wars action figure. You know what I mean? Like with the puffed sleeves like this. But I'm not going to do that, of course. I'm sorry, honey. I'm going to rip it off again until here, and then just make the increases for the small size, or maybe the extra small, because when I fitted on the cardigan I made for my friend, I noticed that actually only the yoke was a little bit tight, but the sleeves were actually perfect. So I need to rip it off again. And that's actually the story of my life with knitting. Need to make it and do it over again, and then it's something you really like and really like to wear a lot. So what I'm using the Cumulus snefneuk and the Kremke silky kit together. It's actually the first time that I use mohair together with the other yarn, but I really like it. It's really, I don't know, it gives it a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, but a little bit of a glance. I noticed that I don't look at the camera the whole time. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to do it now. I'm looking at myself. That's terrible. Okay, but I'm not going to record it again because I'm now already 23 minutes ahead, but I'm going to look towards you now. I can really recommend this yarn. It's very, very, very soft and very nice and very, yeah, very knittable. You knit it on a 7mm needle, and yeah, it's just such nice yarn. I can really recommend to knit with this yarn. I bought it at Cross & Woods. Actually also from the Cumulus tea, the Albertine, it's also bought at Cross & Woods, and it's also the Illimani santi. It's just my yarn shop in the neighborhood, and I really like the wool they have. And the Kremke Silky Kit is from Mirjam Molenbeek. It's also a local yarn shop here. I think I told you everything about the Novice cardigan. Then I have still two whips, which I just don't get any progress in. Maybe it's the season, just because, yeah, I think it's more has to do something with that it's like summertime and you don't get to wear it that quick if you finished it. But these are my scrappy socks. And I made, I used the advent calendar of Olivia and Oliver Fibers. I really like her colors. She has a very good sense of coloring the wool. It's superwash, and so I'm actually pretty far, but I want to make it the leg part very long. But I just hope that if I show you this, I will give it more attention again. And it's actually very nice to knit on it. I held the yarn double, and actually this yarn, this last one, is from Novice, etc. And this is actually non-superwash. The rest is superwash. But the Novice, etc. If you don't know it, I really can recommend to check out her website. She's actually, I think, a yarn dyer from Germany? I don't know. And then, of course, oh no, I lost some stitches. Sorry, I'm just going to put on the stitches again. So nice. Like years ago, I would really have been very how do you call it? Nervous about dropping stitches, and now it's like, okay, I dropped some stitches, even though if I'm recording, I will just pick them up again. Okay, so that's also the problem again. The circumferences of this needle, I can use a little bit a longer one, a wider one, or some stitch stoppers. But this is the Marie Wallen. I just going to show you, because this is also a very slow project for me. I don't have that much experience with color work, but so I'm taking it slow and trying out different techniques. So the first part I did with long floats, and this every 2 stitches catching the floats. I don't like that as much, so I'm going to do again 3 stitches, catch a float, and then again. But oh, look at this. This is really the beginning of a beautiful cardigan, wouldn't you say? So this is the chestnut from Marie Wallen. I really like the yarn. It has a really sheepy smell and feel, so it's going to be very warm in the winter. I don't think I will have it finished this winter, but maybe next one. Oh, I'm dropping them again. Okay. But it's just beautiful yarn. I can again recommend it. And yeah, that's the thing with the Kimi kimono. It's very nice, but it slips off your shoulder, so you really need to prepare if you're going to knit this one, prepare that it's going to slip off your shoulders. But again, let me show you this one. Very beautiful. And that's it, actually. I wanted to show you just one acquisition because I just really like what I bought on the handwerkbeurs. It's like a beurs. Yeah, how say it in Dutch? In English. Well, it's actually it's same as in Edinburgh. You have a yarn fest, something like that, but then Dutch, and it's called. It's not. They don't also have different. So it's crafting more. So also with sewing and spinning and all those things. But I saw Lindewool. That's also they, I think, produce their own wool as well and dye their own wool. But it's very beautiful. It's just Google it, Lindewool. It's undyed. This one, it's a natural light grey baby alpaca, silk and cashmere. It's 100 grams for 400 meters. So you knit it up in a 2.5 millimeter needle. But it's so gorgeous. So I bought like 4 or 5. I'm going to knit a sweater with it. But it's so beautiful. It's really so soft. It's amazingly soft, I think, especially with because of the silk and the cashmere, and of course the baby alpaca. But I'm really looking forward to knit with this one, and that's actually my only acquisition. So thank you so much for watching me, or me. Yeah, you're watching me, but thank you so much for watching the episode. And I hope to see you again next time on the 5th episode. And yeah, there's nothing to tell actually.